Welcome to Business Success in the AI Virtual World, the podcast where immersive technology meets real-world results. I'm Tim Beharon, Chairman of Creative Strategies, a leading high-tech analyst firm based in Silicon Valley. I'm here with Barton Goldenberg, President of ISM, thought leaders in customer strategy based in Washington, D.C. Together, we explore how AI and spatial computing, including AR, VR, and XR, are transforming businesses across every sector, from manufacturing and medicine to customer service training and beyond. Each podcast episode features case studies of companies who are using AI and spatial computing to solve problems, scale operations, and reimagine what's possible. Whether you're a business leader, a tech strategist, or an innovation enthusiast, you've found your front row seat to the future. Let's dive in. This week, we look at another major company who is using VR to enhance their business processes. This is a really big company who is very successful in their particular field. So Barton, share with us this new company we're discussing today.
Thanks, Tim. Today we have a very interesting story of a company that most of you will know and maybe even use on a regular basis, and that's Delta Airlines, who have been pioneers for 100 years in the use of technology, most recently in the use of VR, AR, and AI technology. Delta Airlines has a remarkable 100-year history that began in an unlikely way. Delta was founded in 1924 as the world's first aerial crop dusting organization, Huff Dayland Dusters, established in Macon, Georgia, to combat boll weevil threatening southern cotton crops. In 1929, Delta Air Service began flying 5-passenger flights from Dallas, Texas to Jackson, Mississippi, marking its transition into passenger service. The company survived the Great Depression and gradually expanded across the United States. Key milestones include establishing Atlanta as its major hub, which became central to its growth strategy, through strategic acquisitions including Northeast Airlines in 1972 and more notably Northwest Airlines in 2008. Delta evolved into one of the world's largest carriers. In 1924, Delta achieved record revenues of $54 billion. It serves more than 200 million customers in 2024, maintaining an industry-leading operational performance. The company employs 100,000 people, operates in 986 mainline aircrafts, making it the third largest commercial aircraft fleet in the world. Delta executives expect 2025 to be the company's best fiscal year in its century-long history. The airline continues to lead in customer satisfaction, recently earning recognition from J.D. Powers for first business and premier economy passenger satisfaction. Now let's turn to Delta's integration of VR, AR, and AI technology in its day-to-day activities. So Delta, one of the world's largest and most established carriers, has positioned itself at the forefront of technological innovation within the aviation industry. As Delta celebrates its centennial anniversary, quite an accomplishment, it continues to embrace cutting-edge technology, including virtual reality, augmented reality, and artificial intelligence, to enhance operations, improve customer experiences, and revolutionize employee training. These technology investments demonstrate Delta's commitment to maintaining its competitive edge while addressing the evolving needs of modern air travel. So let's now take a peek at AI, VR, and AR and how Delta has put that to use. On the artificial intelligence side, this is a new frontier both for Delta and many others. Their most significant technological advancement is its comprehensive integration of artificial intelligence across multiple operating areas. At CES 2025, CEO Ed Bastian and his team unveiled ambitious plans centered around AI-powered solutions that promise to fundamentally transform their passenger experience. The centerpiece of Delta's AI strategy is something called Delta Concierge. It's a generative AI-powered personal assistant designed specifically to serve as a continuous thread throughout the customer's journey. This sophisticated system combines contextual understanding of individual passenger preferences and travel patterns with Delta's extensive operational knowledge and insight. The AI Concierge is designed to anticipate customer needs, provide real-time guidance, and deliver personalized recommendations tailored to each traveler's unique profile and preferences. Now, what sets the Delta Concierge apart from traditional chatbots is predictive capability. The system is engineered to identify and address common travel disruptions before they actually escalate into serious issues, potentially reducing passenger stress and uncertainty while showcasing AI's transformative potential in aviation operations. By leveraging machine learning algorithms and vast data sets from Delta's operational history, their AI can predict potential problems such as flight delays, gate changes, connection issues, thereby allowing Delta to proactively communicate solutions to affected passengers. I want to take a quick moment to just tell you a story, Tim. So at this CES 2025, what impressed me the most was not just Ed Bastian's keynote and the 30 or so Delta employees that shared the stage with him, but it was their incredible commitment, obsession, I would even say, to following a passenger from inception to point of landing and ultimately to their destination. And they do that by working with Uber. They have a partnership I'll talk about in a minute that will send out an Uber to your house to take you to the airport at a time that makes sense based on the current traffic flow. They'll bring you into the airport and give you a visual of where you have to check in, what gate, and so forth. They'll bring you to the lounge and show you the way to get there. They'll get you on the plane. They'll get your seat all set up. They'll land, and there'll be an Uber waiting for you to take you to your final destination. It's an incredibly complex and comprehensive way of delivering the best possible customer experience available. So Delta's AI implementation extends beyond customer service, though, also into operational efficiency. The technology helps optimize flight schedules, predictive maintenance needs, and streamlines ground operations. This comprehensive approach to AI integration reflects Delta's understanding that artificial intelligence is not merely a customer-facing tool, but a fundamental component of modern airlines operations that can drive efficiency across all business functions. The airline's investment in AI also includes partnerships, as I alluded to, with major technology platforms, including YouTube, to enhance in-flight entertainment options. Delta plans to integrate AI-powered content recommendations into in-flight entertainment systems, utilize passenger preferences, and viewing history to suggest personalized content operations during the actual flight. Its partnership with football legend Tom Brady to provide healthy eating tips from the back of your airplane chair is yet another example of providing new and exciting content to help deepen Delta's customer experience. All right, let's take a peek now at virtual reality, where they're using that technology to revolutionize training and safety. So Delta's operation of virtual reality technology represents one of the most successful implementations of VR in the commercial aviation industry. The Airlines has developed comprehensive VR training programs that have fundamentally transformed how employees learn critical skills, particularly in the areas where traditional training methods were previously limited by either safety concerns, equipment availability, or weather conditions. The most notable success story is Delta's VR de-icing training program. So when you de-ice the wings before the plane is able to take off. Before implementing VR technology, Delta could only train 3 technicians per day in de-icing procedures due to the limitations of traditional training methods, which required actual aircraft and specific weather conditions. The new VR training system has revolutionized this process. It enables the airline to train up to 150 technicians daily, compared to the 3 they were doing prior to this new program, representing an almost 5,000% increase in training capacity. This dramatic improvement demonstrates how VR can eliminate physical constraints while maintaining quality in training and safety standards. The VR training also provided immersive hands-on experience that allows Delta technicians to practice critical procedures in a controlled virtual environment. Trainees can repeatedly practice complex de-icing procedures without safety risks, weather dependencies, or equipment costs associated with real-world training. The virtual environment accurately simulates various weather conditions, aircraft types, emergency scenarios, ensuring that comprehensive preparation for real-world situations are in place. Beyond de-icing, Delta has expanded its VR training program to cover various maintenance procedures, safety protocols, and operational processes. The technology allows new employees to gain experience with expensive equipment and complex procedures without risking damage to the actual aircraft or compromising safety. This approach not only reduces training costs, but it also accelerates the learning process by allowing unlimited practice opportunities. Delta also uses VR training extensively to train its pilots and its flight attendants. These trainings lower the bar in training costs per trainee, they increase training retention, they help improve Delta flight attendant sensitivity to dealing with all kinds of passengers, both cooperative and difficult passengers, and more. A success of Delta's VR training program is measured not only in increased training capacity, but also in improved skill retention and performance metrics. Employees trained through the VR module demonstrate high proficiency levels and better retention of critical safety procedures compared to those through the more traditional methods alone. Okay, let's turn to augmented reality, where the big push here is enhancing operational efficiency at Delta. While Delta's specific AR implementations are less publicly documented than their VR and AI initiatives, the airlines has employed augmented reality applications, particularly in maintenance and ground operations. The aviation industry recognizes AR potential for improving and maintaining procedures by overlaying digital information onto real-world equipment, thereby providing technicians with real-time access to technical manuals, maintenance history, and a step-by-step procedural guide. AR technology in aviation maintenance typically involves using smart glasses, something that Tim Baharin is very well known for, or tablet devices to display relevant information directly within a technician's field of view while working on airplane components. By the way, I joke, folks, about something that Tim is very knowledgeable about, is smart glasses. I'm actually pleased to announce that on, I believe it's July 29th, Tim and I are doing another podcast on smart glasses and all of the new advancements that have taken place. Stay tuned by looking at the ISM website, and we'll be announcing it in multiple ways. So the whole approach of AR technology in aviation reduces the time required to consult separate documents, minimize the risk of errors by providing contextual, real-time guidance during maintenance operations. And the parallel reality technology that was deployed or is deployed at Detroit Metropolitan Airport represents Delta's most visible customer-facing application of their advanced display technology. While not traditional AR, this system demonstrates Delta's willingness to invest in innovative visual technologies that enhances the passenger experiences. The parallel reality displays can show different information to different passengers at the same time, creating personalized experiences for travelers to move through the airport. So let's talk just a little bit now about technology integration and future vision, because Delta's approach to emerging technology reflects a very comprehensive strategy that views AI, VR, AR not as isolated innovations, but as interconnected components of a broader digital transformation. The airline's technology roadmap includes significant upgrades to in-flight entertainment systems, as I've alluded to, with plans to introduce 4K HDR screens, enabling Bluetooth capacity, AI-powered features, all scheduled for release in 2025 and completed by 2026. The integration of these technologies extends to partnerships with companies like Uber, creating seamless multimodal transportation experiences that begin even before the passenger reaches the airport and continues after they've landed. This holistic approach to the travel experience demonstrates how Delta is leveraging technology to differentiate itself in an increasingly competitive market. Delta's technological investment also addresses operational challenges that have historically plagued the airline industry by using AI to predict and prevent disruptions, VR to scale training efficiency, and advanced display technologies to improve information delivery. Delta is building resilience into its operation while improving customer experience. Now, Delta is another company that's very keen on measuring success and impact. I've already noted that the qualifying results of the de-icing, where they had a 500% increase, and represents one of the most dramatic productivity improvements documented in corporate training applications. Similarly, the airline's operation reliability metrics continue to improve as AI-powered predictive systems help prevent disruptions and optimize operations. It's amazing how they put all this together in a coordinated manner. These technology investments also support Delta's broader business objective, including cost reduction, safety improvement, and customer satisfaction enhancement. By reducing training costs through VR, minimizing disruption through AI, and improving operational efficiencies through advanced technologies such as AR, Delta is creating sustainable competitive advantage that justify continued investments year over year in emerging technology. Strategic integration and future outlook would suggest Delta's approach to AI, VR, AR technologies represents a comprehensive digital strategy rather than isolated incidences. The airlines has recognized these technologies work synergetically to create an enhanced experience across all operational areas. So now let's take a peek at measuring success and impact. The quantifiable results of Delta's technological innovations and initiatives provide compelling evidence of their effectiveness. The VR training program's 5,000% increase in daily training capacity for de-icing represents one of the most dramatic productivity improvements documented in corporate training applications. Similarly, the airline's operational reliability metrics continue to improve as AI-powered predictive systems help prevent disruption and optimize operations. These technology investments also support Delta's broader business objectives, including cost reduction, safety improvement, and customer satisfaction enhancement. By reducing training costs through VR, by minimizing disruptions through AI, and by improving operational efficiency through augmented reality, Delta is creating sustainable competitive advantage that justify continued investment in all of these emerging technologies. So what's happening in the future, Tim? Delta's approach to AI, VR, and AR technology represents a comprehensive digital transformation rather than isolated implementations. The airlines has, as I mentioned, recognized these technologies need to work synergetically to create enhanced experience across all operating areas. The integration of AI-powered personalization with VR training, AI operations, the AR operations to support creates a comprehensive technological ecosystem that drives efficiency, safety, and customer satisfaction. The company's partnership strategy has been critical in its success in implementing these technologies. By collaborating with specialized technology providers like Arbor XR, Futurus, and many others, Delta has been able to leverage cutting-edge technology without having to develop all these capacities in-house. This approach allows the airline to focus on its core competency, namely safe travel for you and me, while addressing the latest technological innovations. Delta's use of AR, VR, and AI technology also aligns with broader industrial trends towards digitization and automation. The industry faces increasing pressure to improve efficiency, cost reductions, and also enhance customer experience, while at the same time maintaining the highest safety standards. AI, VR, AR technologies provide pathways to achieve these goals simultaneously. Delta's future technology roadmap continues in the expansion of their AI capabilities, broader deployment of VR training programs, and increased integration of AR applications across their entire operations. The airline's commitment to innovative positions it well to adapt to a changing customer expectations and operational challenges in the aviation industry. The success of Delta's technology initiatives demonstrates the transformative potential of AI, VR, and AR in aviation. By focusing on practical applications that solve real-world problems and enhance experiences, Delta has created a model for technological adoption that all other airlines are likely to follow. The company's continued investment in these areas suggests that the integration of advanced technology remain a key differentiator in this very competitive industry. As Delta continues to refine and expand its technological capabilities, the airlines is very well positioned to maintain its leadership position in innovation while delivering exceptional value to customers and employees alike. The strategic implementation of AI, VR, and AR technology represents not just operational improvements, but a fundamental reimagining of what modern air travel can become. Imagine that. Delta Airlines for the past 100 years has been a true pioneer in the use of technology, including most recently its use of VR, AR, and AI. You know, Tim, that's quite an accomplishment for a company founded 100 years ago, 1924, as the world's first aerial crop dusting organization deployed to combat the boll weevil threatening southern cotton crops. Back to you, Tim.
Yeah, there's two things that I wanted to discuss or go over with you. First of all, the impact of the training or VR training on the de-icing. You know, that's one of those technologies that affects every airline. And I'm curious if you picked up during your research if other areas or that particular training is something that they would keep proprietary. I can imagine that the other airlines could really use that particular thing as well.
That's an interesting question, Tim. This is something that they've spent a lot of time, money, and effort. And when you bring your actual productivity from 3 trained per day to 150 per day, that is something that they are going to protect. And that's one technology that I understood they're not leasing out to other airlines. Now, the key point here is just think about this for a minute. And we've had this in many of our prior podcasts. You can't just go into a burning building and train. You can't just go into a de-icing situation and get those chemicals splattered all over you. So this is one of those prime examples of using, in this case, VR, to teach them how to do something in what could be a potentially very challenging environment and even a risky environment. So that was one of the technologies, Tim, they were not willing to give up.
Got it. I appreciate that. All right. Another thing that it strikes me here is the use of VR and AR and extending that even to the customer experience to make sure things that are better. One example that you had was the idea of almost from the beginning where you talk about the Uber connection. Do you have a bit of an understanding of how that would work? I mean, when the customer, for example, books with Delta, does the AI pick up not only where they are, but how best to suggest to them how they can get to the airport or, other things that should be added? Is that a part of the AI scripting?
Yeah, it is, Tim. And scripting and API. So what was amazing during the CES 2025 were who came on stage. So the actual football legend Tom Brady was on stage and talked about his value add to the customer. The president of Uber was on stage and talked about his integration and value to the customer. And by the way, they gave away thousands of $20 Uber cards just to get you on an Uber. And several others. I think I mentioned at least one other, YouTube. So the ability to integrate now with YouTube. And so in the back of your seat of the plane, you're going to have a plethora of choices that you can do. But to come back to the Uber example, so what they've done is I don't know the exact technology, but they've integrated it either through scripting or an API whereby the passenger logs into this new Delta Connections app. And that's very comprehensive. And one of the first things that pops up, it says, need a lift to the airport. And it knows when you respond where you are and so forth. It knows what the traffic route is and how much traffic there is, so it knows how to go. And then it starts its magic. I mean, I remember seeing the video that Ed Bastian showed. They got to the actual airport. I think it was the Atlanta airport. And then on the actual screen of the smartphone was a map that showed them which way they had to go to get to their terminal. Once you got inside, it showed you how to get to the check-in desk. Once you got through security, it showed you which gate it was. Once you got on the plane, you were then hit with all these wonderful things to do, to relax and enjoy. Once the plane landed, it immediately kicked in and said, did you want an Uber? And you could order your Uber right from there. And then you gave it its final destination. You landed, just feeling good about the whole flight, feeling good about Delta, feeling loved.
Very clearly, this enhances the total travel experience. I'm fascinated again that here is a company that is over 100 years old, and yet they are on the cutting edge. They are constantly innovating. This particular example of how they are using XR, AR, and VR and AI in the next generation of Delta business processes is going to really set them apart from some of the other airlines. And it gives them a real edge.
I actually agree with you tremendously, Tim. What is an airline trip? An airline trip could be a flight from hell, or an airline trip could be the most joyful thing that has happened to you. And what Delta is saying is we will make every customer journey an optimal journey. And who will not forget that? Who will not say to their friends, you're not going to believe what happened? It picked me up, it dropped me off, it showed me my way there, it got me to the food kiosk, it got me on the plane, it got me off the plane, it got me to my destination. It's just a joy. And if they can pull this off, and I'm fully convinced they will, maybe it'll get better and better, but that would be a huge differentiator, as you say, and it's one that is not easy to catch up on because of all the integrated parts that have been that are brought together through a variety of different technological means.
Well, we're out of time, so thank you for joining us and hearing about this incredible integration of AI, VR, and AR in Delta's business processes and how it's going to make them successful in an AI-driven virtual world.
Thanks for tuning in to Business Success in the AI Virtual World with Barton and Tim. If your team is ready to explore the power of AI and XR, we offer 4 services to help you launch, implement, and scale your AI XR efforts. First, a custom executive briefing to align your leadership team on where to go next. Second, a strategic roadmap for successful implementation and competitive advantage. Third, a proof of concept to demonstrate the art of the possible. And fourth, quarterly advisory briefings to stay ahead of emerging tech and use cases. To learn more, contact us at contact@ismguide.com and be sure to explore our growing library of over 300 use cases, over 250 articles, and over 140 videos in the AI and XR Resource Center. Until next time, keep pushing the boundaries of business in the AI virtual world.